Africa Business School and the Research Institute Voice of Excellence. Today we have with us one of the eminent professional, Nadia Ben Batani, and she is one of the famous corporate leader in Morocco. And since 2012, she is the Group Marketing Communication Sustainability Director of Untitled Chapter. And if I tell you about a little bit about her, she started her career in Microsoft in 2000 and turned to be the Business Software Alliance spokesperson for North Africa. And 2012 onwards, Nadia is working towards directorship of this Untitled Chapter connected to group marketing. At the same time, on the other side, amazing sports personality, excellent achievement in swimming and crossing the seas and the straits of Gibraltar, and likewise, right? So we have with us an eminent personality connected to a corporate as well as a multi-personality in the sense that multiple caliber with which she is moving towards the profession. And she got the best awards like Coupe de Cor Award and honorary award from the Moroccan Swimming Federation. And she's also having adornment by His Majesty the King Mohammed VI Wissam Al Mufad and Botania. And these are her accolades connected to the life she is moving on. And I hope her presence as a mentor to Africa Business School and the entire UN6P would be an amazing opportunity to understand the vision and the mission and kindly the challenges, and finally it can be lead to the research school perfect mentoring. On the behalf of Africa Business School and UN6P, let me warmly welcome you, Ms. Nadia. Now the platform for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction and for hosting me. It's a share, and I'm sure that during the discussion, I hope we will have some rich discussion, and I will learn about people that are around and the different experiences. I'm sure we have some nice experiences connected to the platform. So can you see the presentation? Oh, not yet. Sorry. Can you see it now? Hello?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, great. Today, when I had the first discussion about what is the subject to choose to share with you today, and for me it was obvious I would speak about the brand and the culture. I will tell you during this the coming hour. Well, at least I will try to share with you why I'm passionate about this subject. So you had an introduction, but I thought maybe I can share with you a little bit more about myself. You have now 3 pictures. The first one is my family. So I'm a very happy mother of 2 wonderful girls that are now 12 and almost 12 and 14 years old. And the second one, it's in fact my first crossing ever. In 2015, it was at the end of the crossing of the Strait of Gibraltar. I'm passionate about the ocean and the swimming in open water. And as you can see, I'm holding the Moroccan flag that is always with me, because I'm also passionate about my country and seeking every time I can how to give back. And the third picture is, well, it looks like I'm having fun, but believe me, it was a very serious moment. It's a picture with a part of my team during a team building we organized a few years ago. And it was all about how to have people gathered around a new strategy in some tough moments we were going through. And maybe there is something in common with the three pictures. It's obviously the passion I have for family, I have for the ocean and open water swimming, and the job that I'm glad I'm taking care of now. As you said, I joined Intelsia in 2012. But before that, I was in fact started my career when I was 21 at Microsoft. And then I moved to Western Union. And these two experiences were brought a lot of learning to me. I think it was a privilege for me to start in a company like Microsoft, because I was amazed, really amazed, to see how a company with 50,000 people could move in the same way, with the same strategy, with the same way of doing things, with the same culture, wherever you could travel in all the territories, in big subsidiaries, small subsidiaries, you would find the same spirit and the same way of doing things. And obviously, it helped the company to be very successful. And at Western Union, I joined as a senior marketing manager for a region for 5 countries of North Africa. And at the very beginning, I was a little bit, shocked, because I didn't really have a lot of freedom to do things with the brand. Western Union used to have a department that was called the barbershop, and the barbershop was sort of the guardian of the brand. And really, no one, even if you were very senior in the company, no one could do any single thing with the brand without their approval. And these two experiences helped me realize how much a brand and the culture are very important in supporting the success of companies, especially companies that are developing across borders. And it was the case for these two companies. So I joined, as I said, Intelsia in 2012. At that time, Intelsia was a little bit more than 2,000 people. But just in matter of a little bit of history, Intelsia was created in 2000, and at that time, the company was a 200 people-based company in one country, one city, one site in Casablanca. And the brand was born in 2006. The Intelsia brand was born in 2006. And the real development of Intelsia, the dynamic development of Intelsia, started in 2010, and so 10 years ago. And you will see the different steps we have moved through. I won't go through details, but I wanted to share with you this important date, because it's, let's say, maybe the start. This is where the story of the development of Intelsia started, 2010. Intelsia, maybe for people that don't know the company, is a group that is specialized in the outsourcing area. Until this year, we were mainly in the customer relationship management, working with partnering with some big brands like SFR in France, like Google, like Microsoft, like some banks in Morocco, insurance companies. And starting this year, we have decided to move to another, to be more global and to tackle other businesses in the outsourcing. So this is why I told you 10 years is an important milestone. 2010 was an important milestone because we started that dynamic development. And in 10 years, this is what happened in the company. 8 acquisitions in Morocco, in Cameroon, in Europe, and in the Indian Ocean. We opened 13 new countries in sub-Saharan Africa, in Europe, in the Indian Ocean. The number of employees, as you can see, has dramatically grown. Same for the turnover and the number of clients we had. So today, we are almost 20,000 people working for Intelsia across 14 countries and 40 sites in 10 years. During these 10 years, we have moved from a local company, as I said, a Moroccan-based company with a single site, to a company that is a leader in the CRM business and that is a regional player, a major regional player for the French market speaking. Now we are in the top 5 of the CRM in the CRM business. One of the differentiators we have also is that we have a unique Pan-African footprint because we are present in Cameroon, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, Mauritius, Madagascar, and of course Morocco. And we are one of the fastest growing company in Morocco. So this is where we are now. In terms of, excuse me, the slide is not moving. In terms of the international footprint, we are since 2 months, we are now also in the US, in the Caribbean, and in South America, and also another country of North Africa in Egypt. So we have dramatically grown through, of course, some acquisitions, but also by acquiring new countries and new clients and opening in new countries. And well, actually, this is an ambition that we announced 2 years ago. We have a new ambition because, as I said, we have consolidated our vision to become a player in the French market, customer relationship market. And now we have a new ambition to become a more global outsourcer player, which means that we have to be able to offer our clients solutions, outsourcing solutions that are beyond customer relationships, such as in IT, such as in HR, accounting, quality, training, but also in digital services. And our ambition, the one that we shared with all the employees of the company, is to be by 2021 more than 30,000 people, which means new countries, new acquisitions, new services, new cultures, new people that are onboarding, and of course a lot of challenges that are coming with all these new things that we are integrating in the company. How we decided to choose to do things, and as I said, this journey of high growth started 10 years ago. And when I joined in 2012, and I had to discuss with my boss what would be my mission within the company, knowing that actually, to be very honest, my background was actually until now more an external communications and public relations, marketing background rather than working on internal things, culture and brand. But then when I joined Intelsia and I took some time to understand what was the business model of the company and the vision that the company had, it was obvious that the first thing and maybe the only thing or the major thing I should be working on is the brand and the culture. And at that time, the team was me, myself, and I. And of course, it was very, at that time, I had to discuss with my boss and explain that to achieve the vision he had to become a global player and to move from a 2,000 people company to a 7,500 and then to 10,000, 15,000, etc. We had to invest in communications and to heavily invest in our brand and the culture. Hopefully, I work with some people that we met actually in previous companies like Microsoft, and we were all sensitive to the power of a brand and the power of the culture and how important it is for a success of a company. So we decided to start by indeed investing in the brand. So in 2012, the challenge we had was to already create some link between the companies that were just acquired, because in 2011, at the end of 2011, Intelsia acquired a company in France. The company acquired the year before a company in Morocco, but when I arrived, I was hearing, oh, you know, I'm TWW, I am from marketing group, I am from Eurocall. And I was like, sorry, what are you talking about? I have joined Intelsia. So when I arrived, the people were still speaking about different brands, even after 2 years. So the first step was to work on a single brand, and this is the first time we work on the brand identity. So we redefined the value to make sure that all these people that comes from different companies share the same value and the same vision of the company. And also when we discussed about the vision and how to do things, we had, when you do a lot of acquisitions or opening of new countries, you have different options. One of the options that can be actually good for some environment is when you acquire companies, you keep the companies with their names, with their cultures, and you say, well, okay, let's just make sure that every company is running well. And we look at the end of the year, we look at the figures and the financial figures, and we will be happy with. But when you have a vision to build something unique, to provide a single and unique employee experience, but also a single and unique customer experience, you cannot tell them in Cameroon you will deal with XY company, in Morocco you will deal with Intelsia, in France you will deal with the marketing group, with people that don't share the same way of doing things. So that's why we decided in 2012 that even if we do many acquisitions, if we open a lot of countries, it's very heavy in terms of investment and in terms of integration, but we decided that we will go for the formula you have in front of you on the presentation: one brand, one culture, because we believe that this is the way that we could build something unique, and for us, for the employees, for the ecosystem, and of course for our clients, and provide everybody with the same experience and to have everybody aligned. So speaking about the brand is something. It's not always a very easy talk, because a lot of people will tell you, well, why do I really need to build a brand? A brand is only about the name of the company, or it's only about the science, it's only about the tactical, about advertising. But then when you really look at the big names, you look that when you speak about the company, you speak about the brand equity. And when you speak about the brand equity, you speak about in terms of $100 million. That means something. It means that the brand is part of the company wealth. It's part of the brand company wealth, because it represents much more than what people think: advertising, the science, the external science. As we often hear, the brand is what is left when there is no more tactics, when there is no more marketing. And again, you can have the discussion with some executives and who may challenge you and say, why should we invest in the brand? The brand is a cost. But then we can look at it the other way around. What would happen if you don't invest in your brand? And what we are living now is, for me, a typical case where you can demonstrate where a brand and the culture are really key in a company. If I give you the example of Intelsia, when the COVID-19 crisis happened, I think that no one, and including us, were prepared to face such a crisis. And we had, in a very few time, let's say almost no time, to react and to take the decisions and the actions to face that crisis. How can you do that with 18,000 people if the 18,000 people and the managers and the board are not aligned in the same way of doing things? And for me, the crisis is actually one of the cases where you can put stress on the culture and see if you are doing things right or not. And hopefully, thanks to this common culture, this common way of doing things, but also the trust that was built between the countries and the headquarters, between people and the management. This trust helped us all move in the same way very quickly. To give you just an example, in less then 3 weeks, we were able to move half of the company, more than 9,000 people, to work from home. And we're not speaking only about managers that take their laptops and go home and they can connect and work easily. We speak about agents, about heavy processes, about security issues for handling the data of our clients. And hopefully, because we had that trust between employees and the management, between the people and the company, and also the same way of looking at the things and the same way of doing things, we could be very agile and move very quickly. So definitely brand is a cost, but rather than looking at it as a cost, we should look at it as an investment. So where do we start? We have to start with the brand, definitely, because the brand will impact everything in a company. It will impact the marketing, the way we do business, the way we do HR, the way we do CSR and sustainability. So it's everywhere. The brand is definitely everything in the company. It's not advertising. It's not the signs. It's not the mailings we send. It's the way, actually, the same way we do things. It's at the heart of a company. Sorry again. How do we make a link between the brand and the culture? So this is the CEO of Zappos, who had a very strong culture, and used to say the culture is the brand. And definitely the culture is reflected in your brand, and the brand definitely is nurtured by the culture, because the culture is your values. It's your the way you do things, the attitude, the reason why you do things, and how you do things. So that's why we speak at Intelsia about brand culture, and we merged both of them, because the culture, we decided to have the brand culture as the common thing between all throughout the company. It's what defines us. It's what differentiates us and also gather us. It's what makes us speak the same language, act the same way, and provide the same experience to all our stakeholders. What do we find in a brand? Definitely, we will find our story, the promises we make to our different stakeholders, the values, our symbols, the legends. In the legends, how, for instance, Intelsia was born. The legend about this brand is that it's an employee who decided who proposed the name of Intelsia. The cultural codes, how we say hello, how we don't say hello, do we smile, we don't smile, do we gather, do we have fun together or not? All the rituals, the moments that we share together. So this is actually at the heart. Everything is at the heart of the brand culture. I wanted to share with you a little bit who we are, actually the way we defined our brand culture now, because as I told you, we decided to work on our brand and our culture during the whole journey of the development of the company, because we believe it makes us unique. And at the same time, whenever we have an important step in the company life, it's important to step back, look at our values, look at our culture system, and see if it is still relevant. Because when we defined our brand in 2012, we were only 2,000 people. And of course, every time we acquired a company or we opened a new country, we worked on the cascade, we worked on evangelizing the brand, speaking about the culture, speaking about the values. The values are included in the training, in the HR measurement, of course. But when you grow from 2,000 to 10,000 and then 15,000 and then 18,000, you need to make sure to have a step back and see if your brand, the way it is expressed at least, is still relevant. And also because we decided to because we had that new vision to grow, to become a worldwide company, to become a global outsourcer, we needed also to step back and have that look at our identity, not to make a revolution and change or anything, because you know the what we really are, we don't fundamentally change. We can evolve, we can move a little bit, but the core with our identity is still the same. So we decided in 2000, late 2018, 2019 to work on our identity, to work again on our values and see if we needed to make some evolution in our brand identity and culture. So this is why this is how we moved to this next step. And we have made several workshops, and we decided also to take the methodology of Simon Sinek, that is based on the Golden Circle, because we thought also it's a good way, and for us actually it's the best way to do it, because people, customers actually, or clients, they don't come to work with us because we provide a solution. They come to work with us for much more than that. A candidate doesn't join Intelsia because he's passionate about the call center. I think we have much more than that to sell to a candidate. And to give you my personal experience with Intelsia, when I joined, I had no single clue what was a call center or what was a CRM business or what was, I had a previous experience in outsourcing, but in IT, but I really had no clue about the business of Intelsia. The only thing I knew is that it was a company that had a clear vision, and that the people that were running this company had strong values, and they wanted to manage the company with these values. And also, I knew that they could buy the project of building a strong international brand and to develop a strong culture that would make the company unique. So I joined because there was a purpose. I joined because I thought that I had something, I could have an impact on in the company, but also outside the company. Because I knew with the vision of Intelsia, if I join, I would contribute to develop a company that would create hundreds and thousands of employment in all the countries where we are. Today, I'm very proud to say that when we go to a country, we create thousands of positions, sometimes in countries where there are a very high rate of unemployment. And I think this is, my case, it's not a single case. A lot of people and more are seeking for positions where they see the meaning of what the meaning of their job, what impact, what meaningful impact they could have. This is why we chose with the partner that worked with us on the brand project, on the Golden Circle. So we defined the why we do things. As I said, we believe that everyone should focus on having a true positive impact. Making a difference in people's lives paves the way to shared success. We're not here we don't exist because we want to do outsourcing. We exist because with focus, with excellence, we can have a positive impact. And this is actually something that made me join the company. And I believe this is how we can also have people wanting to work with us and also join the company and join the journey. How we do that? Very simple. Talents, technologies, processes. We're not speaking about, again, we're not at this time, we're still not speaking about the solutions or services, because tomorrow maybe we can decide to have another shift or another strategy and develop new solutions and new offers that are not in the outsourcing, but how we do things will remain the same. Talents, processes, and technologies. And what we offer is, of course, we take all the processes and the functions that are not in the core business of our clients, so they can focus and succeed on their core business. So we defined our why, how, and what, and this helped us create what we called the bestseller of Intelsia. And the challenge we had with our partner is to make something that is nice to read, fun, but also very appealing, because we really want that every single person in the company understands why we have chosen this why, how, and what, and also what it is about. So we created a book, a little book that contains the essence and the core and the heart of our brand and culture. It contains our values, and as I said, the values it's what bring us together. We decided for Intelsia to move from 4 values that were excellence, commitment, innovation, and transparency to 3 values that are more modern, more engaging. So we choose to not to have words but verbs, and also with the we, because we have noticed through all the process of listening, the agents, the middle managers, the managers, and also the clients, that everything we want to do, we do it together, and we want to succeed together. So that's why the final values that were selected were: we dream, we care, we do. That we chose to associate with some keywords: optimism, ambition, and daring. Because actually, when you look at our story, and this is not what I am telling, or the CEO is telling, or the MD is telling, it's what our employees, the people within the company, this is what they say: we are optimistic, we are ambitious, and we are daring. In 2011, Intelsia was the first company to dare and go to France and buy a company that was quoted in the stock exchange in a crisis environment. And the whole story of Intelsia, it's about being optimistic, ambitious, and daring. We have proofs for that. And the best proof is that these values didn't come from the communication department, or from the CEO, or from the HR, or whomever. These values that you can see, these words that you can see, came from all the people that participated to the different workshops that we had before building our brand book. Is everything okay? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Please
Yes,
let me know if you... Okay. So I can move on. In the brand book that I shared with you, we decided also to share our stories and the words we use, because it's what's important. If you have a common brand and common store, and the common brand and the common culture, it's also to have the common stories that we need to tell when we speak to the candidates, when we speak to our clients, when we speak to institutional in a country. So we brought all the stories we want to tell, because it's important also to have consistency and to have stories that will speak to all our stakeholders, as I said. And these are one of the stories. And I must say that we really had fun doing all these stories. So we brought stories about our 20 years, because this year is our 20 years anniversary, how we want to be better together, the Moroccan dream, because even if we are now multinational, we started in Morocco, and we're very proud to have our headquarters in Casablanca. And also because we want to tell the story of, as I said, why people join the company, because we believe it's an amazing human adventure. So these stories help us and help everybody that we onboard. Tomorrow, if we have someone joining, these stories and the book, and I will share with you some pages of the book, helps quickly understand what is Intelsia about. The book, we also gave it to our clients. So because clients are also part of us, they are part of our ecosystem, and they are part of our stories. So defined also our personality. Also, why we did this work as well, because working on a brand and a culture, sometimes some people would think that it's only the job of communication, and we do that because we want to have a nice brand that has a nice image and notoriety. But a brand and a culture is something, it's a very concrete tool. Defining, for instance, who we are and who we are not, this is a tool for the HR, for instance, for hiring, to know that when they need to see what kind of people they need to go and look after or hire in the interviews, we have the same reference. Because when you are in the same site, the same country, you can still have, still check what's going on. But imagine when you are in 14 countries or tomorrow 20 countries, how you make sure that the HR guy who recruits hire the same kind of people with the same standards. You need to have the same way of the same reference and to have the same understanding of what is a great Intelsia employee, what kind of values, what kind of attitudes, what kind of skills he should have, for many reasons. First, because if you, as I said, if you want to provide the same client experience, and for us it's key, because the same client we can have his operations dealt with in Morocco, Cameroon, France, Portugal at the same time. So he needs to have the same experience and the same way of handling his operations in all the countries, the same way. Also, because tomorrow, if you hire people in Portugal, but then you decide that you want to bring him to Morocco, you need to have people that can move from a country to another and find the same experience and be integrated easily. So that's why working on the brand, it's not only having nice words and nice designs and nice things for the image, but it's a concrete tool to align everybody on concrete things that are key in the company, such as how we do business, how we hire, how we deal with our ecosystem, and so on. We also, this is, for instance, one of the things that can be tricky in a company when you are in different regions. Some companies decide to go with only corporate languages, the business languages, such as, for us, it would be French and English mainly. But then we decided, because we are open, a company that is open, we decided that we are fine with dealing with different languages. At least internally, we deal with Wolof, we deal with the Arabic, we deal with the French, we deal with Portuguese, we deal with the different cultures and languages we have internally. And this is also signals who you are. It shows how much you are open on the other cultures. And finally, and this is for me actually the last step, once you have defined the core, the values, who you are, the attitudes, the way you want to do things, the rituals, the way you want to engage with the people in the company, then the work on the logos and the design comes. And this is why this year we decided to, we didn't change dramatically the logo, but we decided to change it a little bit to have it more in motion and to give us more freedom, because we thought that we think that Intelsia is very diverse, and we wanted to reflect that in our logo and to have a very free and diverse logo. As I said, it's an investment to work on the brand, on the culture. And if I had to share with you maybe at the end of this presentation, two things: what has made it possible in our environment, and also one of my key takeaways within Intelsia with dealing with the brand. The first thing that made it happen is a strong belief. As I said, when I arrived, and it's the reason why I'm still there 8 years later, is that there is a strong belief at the very high level of the company that if we do things right with the culture, the rest will happen. Of course, you can look at your financial dashboards and say, "Oh my gosh, all the investment Nadia is doing in the internal communications and the brand, it's too much. If we take it off, we will gain some points on our EBITDA." But if you look at it the other way around, if you do things correctly, you will have passionate people and committed people, and that means more people leaving the company, and that means less investment in hiring, less investment in training again and again the people. It means also that you can provide, if people are committed and passionate and they understand really what you mean by doing things with excellence, they will give their best to provide the best customer experience. And this, it means that you will provide the best service for your clients, and it will drive the loyalty. It means also that you can drive loyalty of their customers, because if they see that you are genuine, you have a nice culture, they will remain and they will want to stay and work with you. So if the culture is right, if everybody is aligned on the right thing, performance, profitability will happen, and it will happen naturally. So the first thing, having a strong belief that brand culture is a great investment in a company, and it's key to the success. The second thing is to know who we are. Taking decisions on a day-to-day basis, it's very tough. What do you do when you have a tough situation, for instance, in Lyon, in France, and the best decision, for instance, or I say Lyon, or it can be Douala or another country. Imagine that you have a tough situation there with unions, or in the environment, or you don't have incentives, or you lose a client. What kind of decision you take? If you look at your finance, the best decision on the papers would be, for instance, to close the site. Makes sense. But then, when you look at your purpose, you look at your values, you see, well, why did I open a site here? Because I want to make an impact, because I wanted to create more employment. So,
Yeah, Nadia,
what
the
decision
voice is not coming.
Sorry? Sorry? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, because I heard a comment or something.
Yes, Professor Lee said that the voice was breaking.
Okay, sorry. Maybe I will cut the video. Maybe I will have the camera. I mean, maybe I will have more a better line. So as I said, your culture and your values are very important when you have to make tough decisions. I was taking the example of a site where you may have some problems, and the obvious or the best decision on the paper would be, for instance, to shut the site. But then when you look back at your purpose, why you do things, why you choose to do things, and your value. Sorry.
I think that the voice is breaking.
Ah, okay. Do you want me to reconnect, maybe? Is it still the case?
I think now it's good.
No, I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
no.
It's okay now.
It's okay now.
Okay. Okay. So I will just let me okay, put it back. Yeah. So the values and the culture are what guide you in everyday decisions. So we had to take some decisions like this during our journey, because sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you may have you may have activities that are changing, that are lower than expected, and this is where you look at your values and you say, do I follow the profitability and the numbers on the papers, or do I follow my purpose and my values? I can give you also the way we managed the crisis for the COVID. During the first months, we lost 30%, and then we could manage to limit it to 20% of our turnover. We are glad enough that we are more resilient than other companies, but we easily in our business we could choose to downsize and have less people, or ask people to go away for a moment and come back when we will have more activities, because we lost that turnover for a few months. But again, because we believe that we have a commitment towards our people and towards our ecosystem, we decided to keep all the employees and to keep all the employees with their full salary, even during the crisis time, and even if we were losing and we're still actually losing a little piece of our revenues. So that's why I say our values and our purpose is our guidance. We know where we want to go. Definitely, we need to have we needed to have that clear strategy, and hopefully we had that at every step in the journey of Intelsia. But more important than having a crystal clear strategy, it's to share it. And this is why we also worked with the team on building a strong infrastructure of internal communications to make sure that we can have, we are always connected with every single person in the company. Not only the board of directors, not only the managers, not only the middle managers, but everybody in the company. So we structured our internal communications framework to have, of course, meetings and business reviews with the directors and the managers, but locally in the countries, but also globally. Now the technologies helps connecting thousands and thousands of people in all the area. The only challenge is to deal with the time zones. But also we decided that it was important also to do it with the agents. In our sector, unfortunately, you have a lot of many practices in other countries or even here where people consider that agents are only a production tool and you don't need to share with them anything. At Intelsia, because we had those, we made the proximity our main strategy in terms of dealing with people. We had on top of all the events with the managers and the middle managers, events that we organize every month on every site. There is a meeting that is held between a director and some agents that are selected randomly, so they can to hear them mainly, to listen what are their problems on the sites, what are their aspirations, what are the things they want to achieve, what are the things that are we doing well, we're not doing well, so we can improve them, but also to share with them the strategy. And I believe that the direct contact is the best way also to share the same vision, the same culture, and the same way of doing things. Alignment. Definitely, if you want to be able to have that unique brand and a strong culture, is to make sure that we have.
We lost you. Voice
sorry.
coming.
Is that better now?
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, personally, I can hear you. Like I heard you for the
I think it's more specific to Professor. Personally, I can hear you perfectly well.
Me too, I hear you perfectly.
Okay, thank you. So
Me too, I hear you perfectly.
Great, thank you for the feedback. Okay, so how do we align between the image, so how we are perceived, our culture, how we behave, and how we want to achieve things? Because it's very important to be consistent across the three levels. Because if you think you are doing something, you are something, and the clients or the stakeholders thinks you are something different, you cannot connect, you cannot do business, you cannot hire. You cannot think you are someone transparent, open, nice, fun, and reflect an image that is totally opposite. No one will join you because you think you are something. They will join you because you really are and because they perceive that. And of course, something obvious, if you want to be credible, and especially on the long term, we need to be accountable about what we say. Building a strong brand is not about having the best agency working with you to have the best words, the best creatives, the best campaigns to bring that alive outside or even internally. But then, how do you make sure it's real? The only way is, of course, to lead by example and to deliver what you promise. I'll give you a very small example. We speak a lot of companies speak about being transparent and to tell their people exactly what things happen. A lot of companies speak about respect, but how do you make these things happen in the company, especially that companies that are that are growing very fast? You can sometimes onboard people that don't have at the very at the beginning the same, they don't manage the same way you manage. You can have some issues there. And when you promise transparency, respect, dignity to your employees, you have to make sure it happens. To give you an example, in 2012, when I joined, I heard sometimes in some projects that we had some issues with paying people. People were saying, well, Intelsia are not paying well, there are always issues and things like that. And I was always hearing that, but there were no proofs. But at the same time, we couldn't say to the employees, you're not right. So we decided to do two things: to create what we call the Café Matin. It's a very simple tool, but it's what I told you about the event that we hold once per month. We called it the Café Matin. Because to give you an example, before, when the company was only 200 people, the CEO could walk in the floors, and he knew all the people by their names. They knew what were their challenges, their problems, the things they liked. But then when the company started growing, he told me, how do I keep the connection with my people on the field? I don't want to hear from the manager that tells the managers that tells the manager, because obviously I will lose the 70% of the information. And sometimes if an agent has a problem with his team leader, the team leader obviously won't say I have a problem with the agent, and he will hide the information. So we decided to have those café matin, very simple to organize, very basic. But the only to make it a success, it's to really make it an open talk. So we decided to create those café matin where you have agents meeting directly with directors, and sometimes the CEO when and the MD when they visit the different site, or myself or the HR director. When we move from a site to another, we organize this café matin to listen directly. And this tool is really great, because when you listen to people, the first thing is that they feel respected. Sometimes they ask for things, and sometimes you have to answer, no, we cannot do it for this or this or this. But the simple fact that you listen, you take time to listen and explain, they're already happy, because they feel respected, they feel recognized, and they feel that they really feel that they matter to us. And also for us, it was a great tool. It helped us improve many of the many things in the company in different areas. And speaking, for instance, what I was saying about the payment issue in the HR, doing this listening and open talks helped us understand that the problem was only a problem of understanding, and maybe just one person spreading some rumors. And when you come to people and say, okay, you're right, we are not good in this area, this is what I'm going to do to solve it, and I commit to do it, and I come back to you and I tell you, yes, I took the problem, I solved it, and I communicate again, you become credible, you build trust. Trust is not built because you say, trust me, I am a company that is transparent. Trust is built on acts. So we did this kind of things, and also because we are an open company, and as I said, we don't, the CEO doesn't want, or the HR director or myself or other people in the board don't want to hear from the manager who will hear from the manager who will hear from the person. We created the first whistleblowing platform within a Moroccan company. For every person in the field who has a problem, they can directly write through this platform to the CEO and the managing director, who will make sure that their issue is solved. So that's why it's, to be credible, you have to be accountable. Consistency. As I said, of course, if you want to build a single and unique brand, you need to be consistent throughout all the territories and geographies where you are present. It's the thing that makes a company, big names strong. And today I'm quite proud to say that when you go to Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, France, Portugal, Intelsia is Intelsia, and not only the logo, but the way we do things. But this doesn't mean that we have to be rigid. The world is very fast moving, and the crisis that we are going through has shown us that you may have the best strategies and the best way of doing things. You can really be hardly challenged. So we need to be, of course, to have the consistency, but at the same time be flexible and agile to evolve with our environment. And if I had to share maybe one of the few ways on how we did things and how we make this one culture, one brand happen, despite the fast growth that we have known within Intelsia, despite integrating companies with really different cultures, different way of doing things, different way of managing. The first one is always start inside. When you want to build the culture, it needs to come from your people. Of course, you need the vision of the top management. Of course, you need the vision of the directors, the CEO. But you need you need to involve and get the people commitment. If you involve people, if you empower them on this kind of subjects, you will get their buy-in very easily, and you can have them then go in the way you want, and and to achieve the vision you have for the company. So, for instance, for the brand culture project we had, and that helped us define our why, how, and the values, etc., that I earlier presented to you. We had a huge work with our partners, discussing with people in all the countries at different level of the company, and also with our ecosystem. Leadership. Definitely, the momentum has to come from the leadership. And the leadership, if the leadership, doesn't believe that it's worth investing in the culture and in the brand, you cannot create something strong, because they will give the tempo, they will start the momentum. Of course, not alone. It has to be along with some key people in the company, because you need to spread. You need to spread the culture, and for that you need to rely on people. You're on the leadership, on key people, but also on the people in the different areas of the company. And the levers, for instance, we found, and to share with you the experience we had with this project, is we built the values and etc. by doing a massive work of listening. And then when we defined the brand, when we came up with the brand book, we selected ambassadors throughout the countries and different departments and different level of the companies. We made a 2 days boot camp with them, where we shared what is this brand about, what is the culture about, how we can spread it through the company. And now they are the one who will. It's not the job of the communication only team. We are facilitators, but these ambassadors are the best people who will promote the brand and the culture internally first, and of course externally. So it starts with the employees by listening, by involving, and by empowering them. And as I said, it's not one person job. Of course, I feel I'm privileged, really, to work on such passion. I mean, on such subject such as the brand and the culture. But my role is not to build the brand or the culture by myself. My role is more to partner with my colleagues and to make sure that this brand is brought alive. And if I had to be more pragmatic to say that who are maybe the key roles that supports the culture and the brand, it's of course the marketing and communications and the HR people, because you need to spread the culture in through trainings, in the hiring, in the performance reviews. So it's really important that marketing and marketing communication and HR work together, and hopefully we are quite good, well aligned within Intelsia with my colleague from HR. And then when we do the job of setting the things, it's important, of course, to spread that within the rest of the company. Brand and culture, it's something that is owned by everybody in the company. Strong communication support, strong culture. Definitely, you need, if you want to share the culture, of course, you do it. You do it by direct contact, by leading by example. But you have three key things you need to have in place to support the strong culture. Internal communications framework, as I said. In 8 years, we have built within Intelsia a framework in terms of events. We have several events to inform, share, but also celebrate. Just to give you an example, every 2 years, we started with every year, but now it's every 2 years, and unfortunately we had to cancel with the COVID with this year. Every 2 years, we gather the best performers of all the countries in Morocco to celebrate their performance. And when I speak about performance, it's not among managers, but it's among the individual contributors, the agents. So, for instance, 2 years ago, we were almost 1,000 people coming from Mauritius, Madagascar, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, Morocco, France, Portugal, to celebrate the best performer of the company during 4 days. So we have a strong event framework, but we have also an internal magazine to deal with all the subject or interviews about business, non-business, but also to highlight the talents of the company, because we are a people-driven company. So we highlight the talents we have in the company. So we have, of course, magazine, newsletters, intranet, and we are working on more innovative tools to come with our partner that supports us on the internal communications. And speaking about partners, choose the right partners. We are, my team and I, well, hopefully I'm not alone anymore. We are 40 people in the department, but still we are managing different areas, including field communications. So since I am on board, I work with some partners, and maybe some of them are connected to support now the talk. Choose the right partners, because it's very important to work with people that share the same values and that will really understand who you are, to make sure that they can support you on your communications with with communications that looks like you. And finally, and this is something that is really maybe for me, one of the most important things. When I joined Intelsia, we had a competitor that has and still has almost the same name, but we were already much bigger, and everybody was telling me, yeah, you should go externally, you should communicate externally, you need to say this and this and this. And at Intelsia, we've always chosen, and for me, it's how to say that, it's I'm by design, one of the things that for me it's non-negotiable, it's always be true and be authentic. Build things, build real things, and then your acts will speak for you. You don't need to of course you need to communicate for the image, for the notoriety, but the best way to build a strong and long-term positive image is to always be true to what you are and be authentic, and of course deliver what you promise. So to end, and I'm sorry if I have been long, but if I had to share with you what I'm proud of today, my team, definitely, because as I said, and I said it many times, we have known crazy moments at Intelsia. I have known some years where we doubled from year on year, integrating companies, new people, and everything we have achieved. It's thanks to an amazing team that has been very agile during all these 8 years. Some of them are with me since the beginning. Some have just joined, but really proud to have a great team and committed team sharing the same values on board. And today we are proud to work on different areas. We have a team looking after innovation in digital, managing digital factory and working on how to enhance the employee experience through digital. I have a team working on the design and how to make the brand shine in all our communications. An external team, a marketing team, internal communications team, and of course sustainability and PR. Very proud of them and thankful to have them. The second one is that I'm really having fun. As I said at the very beginning, there are 4 things I'm passionate about: my family, ocean and open water swimming, my country, and the work I do. I believe that what drives me every day and makes me, keep on going in such sometimes tough environment is that I really enjoy working on culture and brand. And of course, all the achievements that we have with my colleagues within the company. We have today some international recognitions. We have recognitions from the communities. And to end with our subjects, we have a shared culture. To give you one figure, today with all the integration and all the being in the spread in different countries, we have 80% of our colleagues everywhere proactively and positively recommending Intelsia for what it is. And one picture, well, it's still with the logo. We came up with it with a Proud to Be In a few years ago, and when it was for a hiring campaign. We wanted to show that people were proud to work in our sector, and then proud to work for Intelsia. And at that time, when we launched with the team, the company, we thought that the hashtag Proud to Be In will live. Will be used for the campaign, and then we will throw it. And one of our biggest pride is that this Proud to Be In has been used throughout all the countries, even by our employees, by the candidates, and even sometimes by the customers. And this is a picture of when we were all gathered. These are the best performers from the different countries I told you about. We were gathered in Marrakesh, and everybody screaming and shouting, "We are Intelsia and we are proud to be in." And last image, I started with some image and I finished with one. This is a lighthouse in Denmark. And it's very special because it's a lighthouse that has been it has sand and dunes coming, and sometimes it's almost totally covered by the sand. And for me, culture and brand is like this little beautiful lighthouse in Denmark. It's strong, it lasts, and even if you go through crisis, tough times, desert, sand coming over, it still emerges and still guide the travelers. It still guide the company to achieve its ambition and its vision and have the success it's looking for. Thank you very much for listening, and please feel free if I can answer to your questions.
Thank you, Nadia. Now the platform open for open discussion.
I think Nisreen has a question.
Yes.
Nisreen, can you ask directly?
Should I ask it orally? Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Nadia, for your presentation, because really for me, before this presentation, Intelsia was just another call center like the others. So my question is, how do you deal with the specificities and different countries or communities' cultures, and ensure that you are having the same company culture, for in all the regions you are operating in? For example, with the specificities of Ramadan, you have special things to deal with in the Arab countries, not the same in other countries. And the other part of my question is also, if we take the example of Asian salaries, for example, by having the SMIC as a salary in European countries, you can have a decent life. But it's not the case in the underdeveloped countries. So how do you deal with this to have the same belonging feelings in all the countries you are operating in? Thank you very much again.
Welcome. Okay, I will answer both questions. I will answer the first one. Maybe just to give you an overview. In Europe, is this in SMIC in France, not in all the countries, but in the other countries, sometimes the salary is 5 times the minimum salary. So when we come to sub-Saharan countries or in the Indian Ocean, we come with something that is much more better than what is offered in other sectors. For instance, in Madagascar, we pay 5 times the minimum salary. How do we achieve to have a belonging feeling despite that? Because we don't offer only the salary. Definitely, it can be challenging to offer low wages, but this is why we work with our colleagues to offer much more than that. The value proposition that we give to our employees is not only the salary, it's the salary. And as I said, in the majority of the countries, it can go up to 5 times the minimum salary. We provide sometimes health support, we provide transportation, we provide other advantages. But beyond that, what we provide is a management way. I mean, a way of doing things, a culture. If I can give you an example, for the same salary, what will make you choose a company rather than another one? In France, you can have a lot of companies that, or you can have a lot of call centers that will offer the same salary. What will make the difference? What will make the difference is how your guts, what you are feeling in your guts. When you want to go to the office, are you happy to go or not? Do you think you have a mission, or you think you have only a job? Do you think you can participate to something bigger than your job? So it's everything you offer beyond the salary. If I can give the example, maybe some more details about Intelsia, we have challenges, we have events, we have, as I told you, what we call best in adventure, when we take the best performers of the company to Morocco. Well, we did it twice in Istanbul and twice in Morocco. Imagine someone in Madagascar that has never had a passport, that has never traveled beyond Antananarivo, that cannot afford and probably can't afford for a few years to travel within his country. Imagine that you take this person, you make a passport for her, take the visa, make sure that you take her through all the journey, bring her to Morocco, and create a big event where you will recognize that person. I can still remember. It can looks like small things, but one of my favorite moments during the Bestin is when people comes and, for instance, they go and they start settling in the hotel, in a 5-star hotel. I heard sometimes people, when this one was in Istanbul, in the elevator, they were speaking, and he was like, oh my gosh, I thought that I would come to Morocco and that they will put me in a very bad hotel. Can you believe I'm in a 5-star hotel and I am in the 9th level, where the CEO is in the 5th one. I have a better room than the CEO. Imagine a 24th or 25th young man traveling for the first time and having such an experience. These are the kind of things that make people loyal and understands that they really matter for you, because it's not only about money. Because you can say that instead of paying the airplane and paying the hotel, you can give them a check, but it's not the same. It's not about giving the a paycheck. It's about creating an experience, about showing them how much they matter for you. And how you deal with that in all the countries the same way. For the specificities, I would say that the specificities are enriching. The diversity is enriching. For instance, speaking about Ramadan, with all the countries we have, we are able to celebrate Ramadan, to celebrate Christmas, to celebrate Hindu feasts, to celebrate special events in all the countries. So it's very enriching. And today, for instance, during the crisis, we decided to come with a new platform to bring some good news, and we call it the feeling better together. And can you imagine every country participating with his customs, with his traditions? It's enriching. I mean, it makes you travel and discover different countries, different traditions. So one of the ways of doing things is to decide to have only corporate stuff that are common, but really it doesn't really make it fun. And this is what we chose, is to highlight all the specificities of each countries, because we believe that recognizing people and make them feel valuable, it's also to give value to who they are, to their own culture. And dealing with country's culture and the company culture, it's not something that they're not opposite. You can have, the same way of doing things through the company culture and the company values, and you can put on top the specificities of each countries. So we celebrate the traditions in every country, and we share. So in Morocco, they can see what we are celebrating in Senegal, and vice versa. Another example, in Morocco, we are the first company we employ the highest number of people from Senegal, more than 800. So we decided, for instance, to celebrate every 4th of April, the Independence Day of Senegal, because we believe that it's recognizing an important community within the company, even if we are in Morocco. So to make sure we have consistency, we have some guidelines, and this is our role. In every country is obliged to follow the guidelines. Every country has to organize the Café Matin. Every country has to organize the middle managers meeting. Every country has to organize focus groups. Every country has to organize a yearly event where the CEO will speak about the strategy. But on top of that, they have the freedom to organize events that are local and that are brought by the people locally. So, and the last thing is to make the link between everybody. We decided, for instance, not to have newsletters per country. We have, or magazines per country. We have one magazine that is starting to be big that will cover the information and through the countries, and that will highlight talents. For instance, in our internal magazine, we have a space that is called Passion. So we have the talents from all the countries, and we highlight talents in the same magazine so we can share. And this is the only way to also build that feeling that you are part of a company that is in 18 countries and in 14 countries, sorry, and different continents. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Kautar also has had a question, I think.
Hello, Kautar.
Hello, Nadia. Thank you very much for the presentation. My first question is related to, like, you said that you are trying to change the culture across the different acquired companies in different countries. I want to know what are the main challenges that you faced during this cultural change. To how to say it? You said that you want to give the same experience to all the customers all over the world. So
Yeah.
I want to know what are the major challenges that you faced while trying to change the culture.
Okay.
My second, can I give all the questions
Sure.
in the answer, or?
Sure. Sure. I'll just write just to make sure I'm not losing anything from it.
Okay. So my second question is, like, can you describe to us what is it like to innovate in Intelsia?
Okay.
My third question is, like, as a digital tool provider, can you give us some highlights on challenges Intelsia faced with customers while implementing those digital tools?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much again.
Welcome. All right. Digital tools. The first one is about how to integrate different cultures. The first challenge you may face is the way you can be attached to your brand, to your culture. The companies you are acquiring can also be very attached to their brand and their culture. I can give you an example. When I first arrived, I went directly to France to make a tour and to meet people from the previously acquired company, the company that was just acquired, Marketing Group. And I started discussing with people, and one of them told me, are you going to change the brand? And I said, yes, of course. For me, it was obvious. The lady in front of me started crying because the way I thought, and I was attached to Intelsia, people from those other companies are also attached to their brand and to the way they're doing things. So the thing is, it's not really about changing the culture of other people, but it's more finding the right connection. Because changing a culture or moving from slightly from a culture to another, you cannot just come and say, I want you to change the culture. These are the new values. So from now on, you will adopt these values and you will have to forget about your values. It's something that you build. So the main challenge is first to have people accept that they need to move to your culture and to your, not to move to your culture, but they will have benefits moving a little bit to your culture. Usually when you make an acquisition, you try to find environments that are quite similar. Sometimes it's easy, and sometimes you still have companies that are very far. So it's a very high challenge. And the way to deal with it is communicating, be as close as possible. There is a figure that is very makes things clear. A lot of mergers and acquisitions are not successful. 2 among 3 are not successful because the companies that acquire don't take time to explain, to talk to people, to communicate. It's as simple as that. So the way we dealt with it at Intelsia is whenever we make an acquisition, we have, of course, a first contact with the managers to explain the project, the project of the company, the vision, to onboard them very quickly on the strategic level. And then with the rest of the company, we have a roadshow, and it takes time, but it's worth investment to go and explain to everybody in the company. We did an acquisition in 2016 of Atento, a company that had it's a Spanish company, big companies, Spanish company that decided to strategically move out from Morocco. So we acquired the business, their operations for the Moroccan and the French market. And it was not a recent company. They had also a story of more than 10 years. So people were attached to the way they were doing things. So what we did is we had a program with all the directors to go and visit and to talk to small groups of 20 people. Every time, explain the story of the company, explain the vision, and also explain what was the vision for them. And the key is to be transparent and also to deliver what you promise. So we of course had the task force within Intelsia to be aligned on the messages, on the things that we needed the kind of messages and the promises we could deliver to people from Atento, because we need to be consistent and to be credible. And to be credible, we had to be accountable and deliver what we promised. So talk to people, be very quick. Integrating a company, it's heavy in terms of energy, but if you spend like 2 years doing things, people are expecting, and you will lose the momentum, you will lose the trust. So communicate, be quick, change the processes, of course, as soon as you can, and but not with imposing things, but through explaining, through communicating, and have people also quickly find ambassadors from the company you acquire that will support you, understand the specific codes of the company, and also helps you to spread the world, and also to support everything you want to say within the company. So communicate, be transparent, be authentic, be genuine, deliver what you promise, and do it as quickly as possible. And again, a culture is not something you can impose, it's something that you build, and you have to build it with people. Remember what I said during the presentation, the more you explain to people the journey, the more you explain the purpose, and you empower them also, trust people, empower them on these subjects, the easiest you will have their buying on the project. And again, it's not people don't have to be afraid to go and to have the contact with employees. Everybody in the management, from the CEO to the other directors, should go and have the contact with people. Of course, if people are not very, don't feel at ease on doing that, you need to prepare the same you need to align on the same messages and the same messages to deliver. The second one was about innovation, I guess. Yes, innovation. The first thing is to clarify, innovation is not only about bringing new products or new services to the market. Innovating is first a state of mind, a way innovating in doing things. So this is what we try to innovate in. We have created 2 years ago. I had a person that joined the team. She joined first to, and it's a case of innovation. She joined first to manage the our digital footprint and our digital marketing. And then when we started looking, she started looking at the company and learning more about our processes, our pain points, the pain points of the employees. We said that maybe we could do better or more than just the digital marketing. So we created a team that was working on how to improve and how to innovate the employee journey, how to make it better through digital applications, by moving some processes, for instance, how to improve the onboarding, how to improve the support. As I told you, one of our key, our strategy internally is the proximity. How can an HR department keep the proximity with 1,000, 10,000 people throughout the world, and be very reactive and answer to their needs, etc. So we worked together with our colleagues from this team, the digital team, works together with the HR team to have a tool that helps the HR people to connect and the employees to connect directly with the HR people, chat, have their requests and things like that. Same on the candidate path. We looked at the candidate path and we noticed that some things, there were still some pain points. We decided to innovate on that and to support the innovation with some digital tools. So innovation is not only about creating new products. We innovated by creating something new, for instance, again in HR, when we launched CRM through digital. We thought that it was, if we wanted to hire people that will manage the customer service through digital, we needed to test them on the digital. So we created the first chatbot that we called Yassine. That is a chatbot that does recruitment for candidates for the digital customer service. These are the kind of innovation we can provide. So it's not all, and we can also innovate in the customer journey, but this we will do it with our customers, because our clients are the owners of the customer journey, of their customer journey. So if we innovate, we can do that with them, and we do that sometimes in some workshops to think about how we can do things differently and enhance their customer experience. But within Intelsia, it's mainly about our processes, how we deal with HR and these kind of subjects. And the last one was about the digital tools. The digital tools. Well, the digital tools within our sector. I believe you're maybe speaking about how our sector will evolve with AI, with the artificial intelligence or things like that.
No, I was asking about like when you launch a product with a customer related to like CRM or any product digital tool, how like what are the challenges that you are facing like while launching this product with your customers?
Well, we don't really have, we have services, and we work with big companies that have products for that sells products or services to their customers. What we provide is mainly a support to our big clients on managing their customer relationship, or how they outsource their IT or other processes. But to answer, because it's the same challenge if you launch a digital campaign, the challenges you face on the digital is that things go very, very quickly. and things can spread very quickly. So you need to be very agile and very reactive to correct things that doesn't work. And also in terms of monitoring of your reputation on the digital, the digital has made things easier to monitor, but at the same time it makes things really tough, because anyone can say anything about your service or your product or your company, and you need to deal with that. Again, what we have chosen, in the team, I have 4 people looking after our digital presence throughout the different countries, and they manage, for instance, the different social media we have. Again, we have the same way of doing things, being transparent. Even if sometimes you have things, you hear things that are not very pleasant and not very nice. Be very reactive and be very agile, and always, of course, be present with the positive content. But we don't have, products that we sell or that we bring to the market through digital. It's more about bringing the brand through the digital. And as I said, we manage that the same way we manage all our communications, being authentic and genuine, being listening, and very agile and reactive.
Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there are a lot of people raising their hands. So what we will do, so we will take all their question and then you could respond to them.
Okay.
Okay. There is Mr. Rashid who has a question. Okay, we can go to another one. So there is Iman Lukili.
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
Mrs. Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you for your presentation. In fact, I have 2 questions.
Please.
The first question is about branding. Your branding through culture you adopt in Intercia. Is this type of branding, which is branding through culture, the only approach Intercia adopts? This is the first question. My second question is, do you, in your business, do you measure a sense of belonging as an indicator for branding or for brand success among employees and customers? And if yes, do you conduct surveys and scientific research methods to evaluate this measurement? Thank you.
Please, before moving to the other question, can you please clarify what you mean by is the branding culture the only way of doing things? I'm not sure I got the question.
I mean, branding through culture. The branding through culture you adopt in your business.
Yeah. Okay.
Branding and culture.
Okay.
There is also Umayma who has a question.
Is it clear?
Yeah, I'll try to answer.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Nadia, for your wonderful presentation. Actually, I had the chance to work in different projects that were believing that the culture is our brand, it's the brand. So it's when you present, I see that many common things that I experienced before. And I have just a reflection about, for example, I had a chance to organize the breakfast debates with different stakeholders and for the projects that I was before. So you don't think so that you can use this like to explore on other sectors, especially now in Tunisia now they're exploring the world. So why not using this method to explore the stakeholders, to know the challenges, to know the products, to know the services, and you adapt in the same time and you innovate in the same time.
Okay, thank you. Clear. Do we take other questions?
Thank you, Umayma. So yes, there is more question. There are more questions. So Lina, you can speak up. Lina.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So my question is related to the challenges. What are the challenges that you have faced that Intelsia faced during the COVID-19 crisis? And also, actually, I've always heard that call center agents experience extreme stress due to the heavy and very long working hours. And that's also in this period of COVID-19. In many call centers, they were not allowed to do remote workings, and the conditions were not very good. So my question is, how does Intellisim manage that and ensure the well-being of its employees?
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Lina. So we will go to Salma. Salma, you had a question, right?
Yeah, yeah, first of all, thank you, Miss Nadia. I was wondering, you mentioned that Intelsia has acquired several companies in the last few years. I just wanted to ask about how did Intelsia manage the organizational change management dynamics after several mergers and acquisitions? We know that companies have trouble in following mergers with duplications of several job positions. There are a lot of employees that do not react very well to the change. How did you manage this or mitigate it?
Okay.
Thank you, Salma. So there are two people raising their hands. I wonder if they will be reactive. So Karim, you can speak up if you want. Okay, so we will go to the other person, Uthman Sharqawi.
Yes.
I know that voice.
Exactly. Hello. I'm very pleased to see you, Nadia. I just wanted to say hi. First of all, I didn't have the chance to be there for your presentation, so it's been a while. But I still have a question, though. If you can take also this question, I know that you are present in different continents, in different countries, and each of the countries are having different policies. For example, in the case of the virus management. I was wondering, what approach do you have to stay in a global vision, but at the same time having local actions? I mean, have a coherent global action with a particular attention to local constraints. I hope it's clear for you.
Clear. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uthman. So that's all, I think.
Okay, great. So I will start with the first one. Is the branding culture the only way? As I said, when you speak about the brand, you speak about the culture, and when you speak about the culture, you speak about the brand. So it's definitely the only way to deal with the brand and the culture. The brand, again, if you look at the brand only like your logo or your design or your way, the advertising or the way you do your go-to-markets, you're not speaking about the brand. You're speaking about tactics. Brand is at the strategic level, and what makes a brand strong is how it's nurtured by the culture. So yes, dealing with the brand and the culture
together, because we speak about a brand culture, not only the brand is the only way we do things at Intelsia. The second one is how we measure the impact on people. Definitely we conduct surveys, but we conduct surveys at different level. We have different ways of listening to people. We have the HR annual survey, and we are thinking now about having not frequent surveys, but have an annual survey plus some polls to have a feeling of the field more frequently. So we have this, but at the same time, we have different other channels to listen. We have what we call the voice of the customer tools that we use. We use them with our clients, but we use them also internally. So every quarter, there is a team that belongs to the quality and the continuous improvement department. In every country, they do workshops to understand at different levels of the company, agents, team leaders, managers, etc., to understand what are their expectations, what are the things that are for them a must, and they don't, and they give their feedback if Intelsia is providing that must or not, and where or provided but needs some improvement. What are the things that they wish they can have very quickly, and other delighters. We have also the Café Matin and that I spoke about, that we organize every month on every site, and it's not only about having coffee and eating viennoiserie and orange juice, but all the discussion. There is someone from the communication team that takes notes of all the feedbacks that are given by the agents. For instance, they will say, well, the transportation is not working well on this line. I have an issue on the health, whatever. On the operation, I have this issue. Or this is something good, you should keep doing it. So we make a report of every breakfast that is organized on the site. And if there are some things that are not working well, we will go to the concerned department, give them the feedback. If they have a quick solution, we will go back to the person and say, here's the answer, or here's the solutions. Or if we don't have a solutions very quickly, we will put it in an improvement cycle. We have also within the communication team, focus group that we organize frequently to listen to the agents, what they think about the atmosphere, what they think about the management communication. Do they have access correctly to the information? So we have the survey that is conducted by the HR in all the countries that gives us some figures, how much people are happy to work with Intelsia, how proud they are to work with Intelsia, how they can recommend Intelsia. But we have several other channels to listen to people, because if we want to improve things, we need to listen. We used to say you have to listen to better speak. So we have different channels. The survey that measures, and also different channels, and everything is put in reports and go through an improvement life cycle. Second question, it was about the breakfast debates. Did we explore to do it with other stakeholders? Definitely. I spoke about the breakfast for the employees, but we organize similar meetings for our clients as well. We have, for instance, the breakfast that the client holds with the agents that works on their operations, so they can also have a feeling and hear from the agents directly if they are facing issues with their tools or their processes, and they can hear that directly from the agents, and the agents are also happy to have the contacts with the client they're working for. But also, this is internal, but we also have with our clients workshops and frequent meetings at different levels. For instance, when we wanted to work on the brand, the partner that worked with us on this new brand, they organized several calls and also a workshop we organized a workshop in France, for instance, with major clients, so we could hear also from them what was their perception of our brand, of our vision, and our value. So when the outcome of the brand, it's not only our view, it's the view of course the view and the vision of the top management, but also the employees, but also the clients and also the ecosystem. So we hold these kind of things. And besides that, we have also frequently with our clients to improve the way we do operations and we do business together. We have it's more workshops than just breakfast, but we hold several and different workshops to see how we can improve their customer experience together, how we can improve the processes and the way we work together, improve the customer journey, and definitely innovate and help them, also support them innovate in their customer experience. So yes, we do that also with other stakeholders. What Intelsia and how we experience the COVID-19, the stress and conditions. First, the way we faced the COVID-19, I think we were all surprised, like all the companies and the sectors. But I would say we moved through three main phases. The first one, as soon as the crisis started, the key priority for us was, one, to make sure that everybody was secure from a sanitary perspective. How to make sure that people could continue, with the risk of the virus. The second priority was how to deal with the financial security of our employees. Because as I said, as all the sectors, we had an impact on our activities and our turnover. And we decided actually with our clients to decrease some activities and to keep only the strategic one, to make sure that very quickly we had less people in the sites. And despite that, we kept the salaries and the financial security. So two priorities to deal with: first, how to make sure they were secure from a sanitary perspective and financially. Then, when we very quickly secured that, the second step was to see how we could continue and to keep up with our activities, because we had commitment towards our clients, who sometimes had very strategic business and they couldn't stop. We couldn't stop the activity, and at the same time we couldn't keep people on site, or at least everybody on site. So we had to deploy very quickly the work from home solution. So what we did is that we worked on a very agile solution, and in less than 3 weeks we moved from 0 person working from home to 9,000 people working from home. And today we have more or less 20% of the sites only that are full. So which helps really having the distance and everything. And of course, we in parallel we worked on all the awareness communication to explain what are the risks, what to do to deal with the virus and things like that. And of course, we also put in place control systems for the temperature, the control system to make sure that that there are no gathering in some places, like elevators, like meeting rooms and things like that. So we quickly moved on that. And the third step that happens actually very quickly during the crisis is that we started preparing the post-crisis. So what we have decided, what we have done, is that we have also worked on making all our recruitment and training 100% digital and from home. because obviously we couldn't bring people for interviews to the sites, but at the same time we didn't want to stop our hiring campaigns because we need to prepare the new activities that are coming on, and people that we hire needs to be trained, and obviously we could not bring them to site. So we worked very quickly on putting in place 100% digital and distance work from home, from home recruitment and training. And to answer your question about stress, yes, being an agent is a stressful job. No one can tell you the opposite. It's stressful because you need to deal with different type of clients, sometimes with angry clients, you need to deal with the different type of tools. So yes, it's stressful. And our job is to, and beside that, you have, unfortunately, well, it's changing, but for a very long time, there was that image of agent is not really a job. You do that because you don't have anything else to do, or you are not able to do anything else. So all our work along with my colleague with HR was, of course, to provide well, I won't say well-being, you know, I'm not really a big fan of the well-being world, because everybody has been speaking about well-being, and a lot of people think that working about, providing well-being is providing Zumba in the company. It's not about that. Providing well-being is first about being respectful to people, bringing them dignity, and this is one of our battles, is to show that being an agent is not because we are a loser or we're not able to do something else. We can be an agent because it's a job, because it's a job where you can properly earn your money, and where you can very quickly move and evolve and grow in the company. Today, I don't know any other sector where someone that is 21 or 22 can, that comes out from school, start as an agent, and within 2 years become a manager of a small team of 12 people. We have some few examples in our company that shows that you can be an agent and be very successful. 2 of our directors, top managers, have started as agent, and now each one of them are managing million of euros of turnover, and thousands of people across the company. So yes, being an agent is tough, and big up to all of them, but hopefully more and more we see people that start as agents, and they notice and they understand that they can make something out of their job. The least they can do is learn during their journey, and maybe move to another company or to other positions, or they can grow within the company. And rather than speaking about, of course, we provide some conditions, and you can visit our sites. You will see that we provide nice spaces, and hopefully we will be able to share very soon the pictures of our new site in Casablanca, and you can see what kind of... Excuse me, I just need to take this. Allô? Oui, salut. Je suis en train de finir une conférence, je vais avoir un peu de retard. Je finis une conférence. Désolé, je finis une conférence et je rejoins peut-être 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. À tout de suite, pardon. Sorry, because I have to run to another training. I said, yeah, of course, we need to provide a nice infrastructure, all the advantages and challenges, nice events. But more than that, what is important is that people must be proud of what they do and understand what is their contribution. This is why we came up with the Proud to Be In hashtag, as I said, because we wanted people to understand that first they need to be proud of their job, because it's a job. It's not for people that don't know how to do anything. And also because, and also provide them with the opportunity to grow within the company, and we have several examples that make us really proud of people that can move from being an agent to communications. For instance, I have a lot of people in my team that were agents and that now are doing communications. Some are doing HR and some are becoming managers in the operations. So this is one of our key areas of investment, to make people feel proud of their job and to evolve within and grow within the company. The other question is how we deal with the organizational changes after the acquisition. In fact, when you make acquisitions, you can have different scenarios. You can have jobs that are the same. You can have and you need sometimes to make choices. I would say that the chance we have in Intelsia is that since few years we are on a very aggressive growth trend. So we have a lot of opportunities for everyone who wants to commit and grow within the company and holds different positions. So we have different examples. What I can give you as an example is that from all the acquisitions we have made since 2010, we still have people from the management that are on board. Of course, some of them have left because, as I said, sometimes you can have people that are so far in terms of vision, values, culture, so they decide and they prefer to quit, which is well, actually a normal life as well. But we have also a lot of examples of, we are pretty inclusive, which means that when we do an acquisition, our first option is to include everybody. And the fact that we have that aggressive growth trend is that we have opportunities for people. So people can either stay in their same job if they want, or they can move to other jobs in other departments or in other projects. We are pretty agile, and we have some examples of people that were in quality that moves to HR, and from people from communications to move to other places. So we have, hopefully, we always manage to have opportunities for everyone, with the condition that they fit with the vision and the company culture, and they want to be part of it. And again, the key in the whole process is to be transparent and to communicate at different steps. I'm sorry, I'm trying, yes. The last question, how do we deal with having the same vision through same vision and the local constraints? Yes, for instance, if we take the HR policy, the constraints are definitely not the same. So the idea is to have the same philosophy, the same way of doing things HR, but then country by country we can have some measures that will be specific to the countries, or some policies that can be specific to the country. And the way to deal with that is to find the right balance between consistency and agility and flexibility. And it reflects in our organization. What we've decided to do is to have some corporate functions that will hold some cross-group expertise, and also that are the guardians of the way to do of Intelsia. But the countries are empowered, of course, to take the actions, to take the decisions that are necessary for the country, that meets the country requirements from business, from legal perspectives. The only condition again is to be 100% aligned with the guidelines and the culture and the way of doing things at a group level. So it's always how you find the right balance between consistency, global guidelines, and the need of local empowerment. Because if you manage everything centrally, you will lose agility, because the business in different countries cannot wait until the corporate functions decide, and because you cannot cover all the countries from a corporate point of view, and at the same time you cannot have every country has his own way of doing things, because you will end up having instead of having one company, having the as much companies as the number of countries where you are implemented. So it's really about balance between consistency, common culture, common guidelines, and empowerment locally to be agile and effective and efficient and reactive enough to deal with the local business and the local constraints. I hope I answered.
So thank you, Ms. Nadia. On behalf of the Africa Business School, we thank you for being here with us and for agreeing to speak at our online program. And also we appreciate the guidance that you provided to our research and the question that you clarified. Actually, we had a great time. The discussion was good, and it was great to hear your thoughts on the industry as well as your excellent and are doing in
Sorry, I'm losing you.
So yeah, thank you. I think you are busy and we don't want to take much time of your time.
It was a pleasure.
Hello, you can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I was saying that we appreciate your time and we don't want to take much time of your busy time. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for your feedback, and thank you for the attention and the questions, and it was really great discussing. And thank you for hosting me, and best of luck everyone, and stay safe, and bye-bye. It was a pleasure for me, and hopefully talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.